ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदुदितं कर्मस्वनुष्ठीयताम्।
वेदो
नित्यधीयतां
नित्यधीयतां
तदुदितं
कर्मस्वनुष्ठीयताम्
कर्मस्वनुष्ठीयताम्।
तेनेशस्य विधीयताम् अपचितिकां ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम्।
तेनेशस्य
विधीयतामपचितिं ये
विधीयतामपचितिं
मतिस्त्यज्यताम्।
ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम्।
पापौघः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम्।
पापौघः
परिधूयतां
परिधूयतां
भवसुखे
भवसुखे
दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम्।
दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम्।
आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम्।
आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् विनिर्गम्यताम्।
After the introduction, we are saying the first shloka of the Panchakam. Of the 5 shlokas, the first shloka. Every shloka has 8 steps. प्रत्येकस्मिन् श्लोके 8 सोपानानि सन्ति. 8 steps, 8 sadhanani. Ashtasadhanani. Sopanani sadhanani. Sopana, the steps, they are the sadhana. The sadhanani. The sadhana begins in brahmacharya ashrama. How do we know that? Vedaha adhiyatam. Vedaha adhiyatam. Nityam adhiyatam. Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Nityam ityukte sarvada atava vikitakala iti. Nityam adhiyatam. Vigita itarakale nishedat. So adhiyatam, that's a specific age, specific period when I can study Veda. That is in the brahmacharya ashrama. That is why avilupta brahmacharya iti vachanat. So Vedaha nityam adhiyatam. Vedan aditya vedo va vedam va api itakramam. There is a vakya. To one's capacity, either one Veda or two or three or more than, or all the four. But of course, one must study one's Veda. According to the tradition, the family tradition, whatever the Veda one belongs to, that Veda, if not at least the Shaka. Swadhyayaha adhyetobhyaha iti Shruti Vachanam. So, therefore, as a student in the Brahmacharya ashrama, may one learn, may one recite. In the Brahmacharya ashrama, it is just learning and reciting the mantra, the Samhita part of the Veda. There will not be much dwelling on the meaning, analysis of the meaning of the mantra. Samhita part to be committed to memory. Adhiyatam, one should learn to recite the Veda, not by seeing the books, just listening from the teacher, repeating. Adhiyatam, nityam adhiyatam. Adhiyatam iti adhi purvaka ingdatu adhyayane. Ingdatu always will have the upasarga, adhi upasarga. In the meaning of adhyayanam, adhyayane, nityam. Nityam is kriya visheshanam. Adhiyatam, karmani lot. All the, you can see, all the instructions here, this Sadhana Panchakam, otherwise called Advaita Pancharatam, you will see all the instructions, the Upadeshas, in the passive form, Karmani, Rupe, Lot Karmani, Adhiyatam. Nityam is, it's a Visheshanam to the Kriya Vachanam, Kriyapadam. Nityam Adhiyatam. That is why, when Nitya means what? Sarvada or Vigitakala. Vigitakale, that is in the Brahmacharya ashrame, may one study the Veda. May Veda be learned, may Veda be learned, be recited. And what is Veda? Veda is a body of knowledge. Veda is knowledge, with to know. With the jnane, we get the word Vedaha. Vindanti chaturaha purusharthan tat prapti upayancha anena iti Vedaha. From the Veda only we come to know the Purushartha. Kati Purusharthaha santi dharma, kama, artha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha iti Chaturvida Purushartaha. Yaha dharmam icchan tat prati, dharma margam prati, gacchati, yaha gacchati, saha dharmarthi. So dharmarthi, dharmam artyate, atava punyam artyate, iti dharmarthi. Yaha bhogam icchan, kamam icchan, pravartate, saha kamarthi. Dharmarthi, kamarthi, artharthi. Artham iti yukte, अर्थम इत्युक्ते धनम अथवा यत् सुखम धनेन प्राप्यते तदपि यः अर्थम अर्थम प्रार्थ्य तान् सम्पादयितुं प्रवर्तते सः अर्थार्थी अतः धर्मार्थी कामार्थी अर्थार्थी धर्मार्थी धर्मं प्रति गच्छति अर्थार्थी अर्थं प्रति कामार्थी कामं प्रति तेभ्यः विलक्षणः यः पुरुषः सम्यक् पुरुषार्थान् आलोचयित्वा पुरुषार्थान् सम्यक् आलोच्य सम्यक् आलोच्य पुरुषार्थान् मोक्षं प्रार्थयति सः एव मोक्षार्थी धर्म अर्थ काम पुरुषार्थैः यत् फलं प्राप्यते तत् फलम् अनित्य फलम् इति सम्यक् आलोचनं कृत्वा यः मोक्षं प्रार्थयति सः मोक्षार्थी and that is what purushartha nischaya vyavasayatmika buddhihi in the language of Gita vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekehe kurunandana. So that clarity with regard to the purushartha. But one can be dharmarthi, artharthi, kamarthi, one's choice. Because that being endowed with free will. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam. He can choose. He has a right to exercise his faculty of choice. Therefore, he can pursue any purushartha. But that purushartha, gaining which there is nothing else to be attained, to know that, to understand that one requires buddhi, that clarity with regard to what he wants ultimately in life, accomplishing which there will not be anything to be accomplished. Kasmin bhagava vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. Vijñātam bhavati, praptam bhavati. Knowing is gaining. In the field of knowledge, in the field of moksha, there is nothing gaining. Everything is praptasya praptihi, vittasya vittihi. Vittasya vittihi, siddhasya siddhihi. Therefore, that requires tremendous understanding. One must have clarity. But Shastra is open. It has all the means, it has various means for the various ends. One has choice. So that is Veda, that is why it's called body of knowledge. So, and it is a pramanam. So, purusharthanam jnanam tata sadhananam jnanamapi. Vedena eva jnatum shakyate. Ataha vedaha pramanam. Ishvarena ऋषिभिः द्वारा यत् ज्ञानं प्रकटयति तस्य नाम एव वेदः वेदः इत्युक्ते न तु ग्रन्थः वेदा is knowledge चतुरः पुरुषार्थान् तत् प्राप्ति उपायान् साधनं वेदः विद्यते ज्ञायते लभ्यते वा धर्मात् पुरुषार्थाः येन सः वेदः Vedana sadhanatvat vedaha, pramanatvat vedaha. Veda is a pramanam. We can define Veda in so many words. Veda pramanatvat. When you are not able to find the means to achieve the goal, The goal could be the Lokika, or the goal could be Alaukika or Moksha. Veda provides a means. Veda provides a means for it. Therefore, Upaya is there. Purushartha, Upaya Jnanam. Vedena bhavati. Therefore, Upaya Sadhanam Vedaha. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthapatti, all these will not give the means. It will not give the means, cannot be the means for moksha. Not only for moksha, even with regard to knowing dharma. What is dharma, what is adharma? How will we know? By the other pramana. In the one of the commentaries, Sayana Acharya, he says, Pratyakshena anumityava yastupayo na buddhyate yena mindati vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. Pratyakshena atava anumanena vastu upayaha na buddhyate. You cannot know the vastu. Forget about the vastu. Even for dharma. Atato dharma jigyasa. Jaimini Sutra, Purvamimamsa Sutra. Dharma jigyasa. Jigyasa jnatum ichcha jigyasa. The desire to know. When we say dharma jigyasa, atato adharma jigyasa api. Dharmaha kaha iti jnatavyaha adharmaha ipi. Adharmaha api. So dharma jigyasa, adharma jigyasa. So Veda reveals what is dharma, what is adharma. Therefore, Vedaha, therefore to know that, since life has to be in keeping with dharma, to start with, it is dharma. Dharma palanam, anushtanam. Dharma anushtanam, karma anushtanam. Dharma iti yukte. Dharma could be karma also. Dharma can mean punya. So dharma jigyasa, karma jigyasa. That's why it is mimamsa, karma mimamsa. Because it is to be done. Purvabaha karma kanda is for not, it's just not for knowing, it is for knowing and doing. So therefore, doing is not possible without knowing. Therefore, adiyatam, nityam, adiyatam. And therefore, it is the knowledge which is handed down in the tradition. Therefore, it is to be studied. Adiyatam, nityam adiyatam. How do I know that I should study Veda? Upanishad. There is a Shruti Vakya, Swadhyayaha adhyatavyaha. Swadhyayaha adhyatavyaha iti. Swadhyayaha. Once Shaka one must study. This command we get in the tradition. Adhyatavyaha tavya pratyaya. It's a order, it's a command. Adhyatavyaha iti. Therefore, one has to study one's Veda. One cannot skip. One should not skip. Unless you know the Shastram, you cannot study. Unless you study, you cannot know the Vidya also. Therefore, when you recite the Veda, we come across the Vidhi, even though we may not know the meaning. But one has to start with beginning with reading the Veda, studying the Veda. Therefore, Nityam Adhiyatam, always. Vikita Kale. So therefore, one has to study. When it is studied in the Brahmacharya Ashrama, Pratama Ashrame, Brahmacharya Ashrame, Adhiyatam, then this after study, after this, Adhiyatam, Snatva Grihi Bhavet. That is the ashrama vyavastha. So Veda provides the scheme that one has to follow in one's life so that one can reach the goal. Otherwise, one may miss the goal. One may miss the path and therefore miss the goal. And therefore, following the Veda, one will definitely reach the end. Therefore, adhiyatam iti a command. And also when we say Veda Adiyatam, Veda means it is not just the Veda alone. Along with the Veda, all the Veda Angas also will come. Angani, Veda Angani, Chiksha Kalpo, Vyakaran, Viruktam, Chandaha, Jyotishamiti, Shruti Hritani, Angani. But Veda, it is iti Ekavachanam. Iti Ekavachanam, Yadyapi Vedaha iti Ekavachanam, Samasta Veda Adhyanasya Abhave api Ekasya va Adhyanam Avashikamiti Suchayitum. One Tikakara says, Veda, it includes Vedanga. If not all the Vedas, Samasta Veda Adhyanasya Abhave, all the four Vedas, Ekasya va Adhyanam Avashyakam iti Suchayitum. At least one Veda one has to study. And by Veda, all the Vedangas are understood. By Veda, all the Veda. That's where that another Vakya, Veda and Aditya, Veda Aditya, Atava Vedam Aditya, Yatakramam, Kramam, Anatikramya, not transgressing the rule, the order. Yatakramam Vedam, Vedan or Vedo Aditya, Ekasya Vadhyanam, Avashyakam. Iti Suchayati. Veda, that's why Vedaha Ekavachanatvat, at least one Veda. By Veda, Veda Angas are also included. Veda Anga. Why Veda Anga? Because Veda Anga, without Veda Anga, Veda cannot be understood later. So therefore Veda Anga, because it is Veda Anga, therefore, it's a part, it is the limbs of the Veda. Mukam Vyakaranam Tasya, Veda Purushasya, Jyotisham Netramuchyate, Niruktam Shotram Uddishtam, Chandasam Vichitis Pade, Shiksha Granantu, Vedasya Asto Kalpan, Prachakshate, iti Vedasya Mukam Vyakaranam. That is why we study Vyakaranam. Other Angas are also important. Jyotisha, Nirukta. Nirukta is compared to the Shotra, the ears of the Veda Purusha. Chandasa is Pada. Shiksha is Granam, nose. And Astau, Veda Purushasya Astau is Kalpa. So therefore the Veda Anga also included. Why Veda Anga? Then only Mimamsa can be done. Then only Vichara, analysis of the Veda can be done. Analysis of the Vakya of the Veda, Karma Mimamsa, Veda Mimamsa can be done. Therefore, since Veda can be understood only when we have the tools of understanding, the Brahmachari also studies that so that he can analyze them later. So therefore, the Apara Vidya in the language of Mundaka Upanishad, the secondary tools, these are all tools for understanding the Veda. That also one must study auxiliary disciplines that are also required to understand the Veda. That is why in the tradition, they say 6 months they spend studying the Veda, doing the Adhyanam of the Veda. Then another 6 months, Vyakarana, Mimamsa, etc. All these are studied. And Veda Arambha begins on the Upakarma day, on the Upanayana day. So starting from that day onwards, Upakarma day, 6 months Veda, study of Veda, and 6 months Veda Anga. So this study, the Adhyanam, gives a person here a relatively a fair knowledge to understand and prepares ones to lead the life in keeping with the Vedic scheme of life. So therefore, and also Veda, it provides all the tools, all the necessary tools to conduct one's life and to face the life. Because after Brahmacharya, Ashrama, getting into Grihastha, So he has to face the world. So it prepares a person. So the Brahmacharya ashrama is studies. There is only study within the four walls. It's a cloistered atmosphere in the Gurukula. Then later he is exposed to the world. He has to face challenges. So it prepares the knowledge, whatever he gained in the Brahmacharya ashrama, that he can apply when he comes to face the world. So therefore, a Brahmachari graduating from the Gurukulam, he cannot remain in the Gurukulam. He has to come. That is why Swami also will never keep anybody in the Gurukulam forever. After the teaching, send them out. They have to go to the world and face the world. Within the four wall, it is fine, but that's a cloistered atmosphere. You're protected. The Gurukulam, the atmosphere, the protects us, the students. Now, once the study is over, after the study, one cannot remain. He has to face the world. So therefore, the application, there comes the application part. So therefore, as Brahmachari, one has studied, then after that, one has to practice it. So therefore, the Acharya says, what Adiyatam in the Brahmacharya ashrama Vedaha Anantaram, whatever you have studied, Tad Uditam is Veda Uditam, Tena Uditam, Kena Uditam, Veda Uditam. Uditam Vadudatu, Vadati, Nishta Pratyaya, Uditam, Tena Uditam, Vedena Uditam, Karma. What Uditam? Karma. Karma Su Anushtiyatam, Swanushtiyatam. Su Purvaka, Su Anupurvaka, Shtadatu. Shtadatu, Stadatu. Gati Nivruttau. Then Stadatu become E. We have seen in our Panini class. Tu Masta, Gapa, Jahati, Sam, Hali. By that, eat comes the first Tiyatam. Su Anushtiyatam, Swanushtiyatam. What karma? Karma from the Krudatu. Negi Negi Akshati Dukring Karane. The Bhajagovindam comes Dukring Karane. There they misinterpret that shloka. Nahi nahi rakshati dukring karane means the misinterpretation is the study of grammar will not protect you. Nahi nahi rakshati. What? Dukring karane is a dhatu. Krudhatu. Krudhatu means the knowledge of grammar doesn't protect you. It's of no use studying grammar. That that line is wrongly interpreted even by the informed people. Swamiji beautifully says, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukking Karane means it refers to the Karma Kanda of the Veda. Karma Kanda Veda, karma is doing. Actions are involved. So karma cannot give moksha. Why? Nasti akritaha kritena karmana. Moksha cannot be gained by karma. Because moksha it is praptasya praptihi, vittasya vittihi. Gaining the already gained. It is discovery of the fact that agam sadam vimuktaha muktaha. So karma cannot be the means for moksha. Even combination with jnanam, karma cannot. We don't accept even jnana karma samuchaya. Therefore, nahi nagi rakshati dukrin karane. Following karma alone, karma till the end, you will not gain moksha. You may be a Vaidika following the karma meticulously, but it will not give you moksha. What gives moksha? Jnanam alone gives moksha. To emphasize that, nahi nagi rakshati dukrin karane meaning karma kanda of the Veda. Karma of the Veda. That is what the meaning. Not that Vyakaran say kya karna. That is not the meaning. So, therefore, karma, tad uditam karma, Veda uditam karma, Anushtiyata. Starting with Adhyayana Kartavyata. Then Anushtiya, Anushtanam. That which is studied, it has to be now practiced. Tadanantaram mama kim syaditi. The Shishya, when he asks, the Acharya says, Tad uditam karma, tena vedena uditam vigitam karma. It is anushtiyatam, kartavyataya pratibaditam. Karma is nitya nemitika pragashchita rupam karma. Nitya nemitika karma, being nitya is, nitya karma should be done. Nityam chakarma dvividam bhavati, shrautam smartam. Because it is nityam, should be done. And nemitika shraddha adi karma. Shraddha, uparaha, snana adi karma, naimitikam. Prayaschitam karma, prayaschitam is purificatory rites, rituals. What about kamya? Kamya karma should be, kamya karma, tyajyam, should be given up. That's later he says, kamya mati tyajyatamiti. Nishiddha karma is out of question. Nishiddha karma, one has to shun nishiddha karma. That is nishiddha, forbidden action. So therefore, tad uditam, veda uditam, whatever you have studied, the karma, part of the Veda, along with the mantra, along with the Brahmana, the know-how of the rituals, anushtiyatam, nitya nimitika, the karma, anushtiyatam, tena uditam karma. So, anushtiyatam iti, sarvatra tvaya, we have to add, tvaya anushtiyatam, because it is instruction. So, karma, vedaha nityam tvaya adiyatam, taduditam karma tvaya adiyata, anushtiyatam. Make it be practiced by you. So, tvaya iti sarvatra adhyahartavyam. So, you have to bring the word tvaya everywhere. So, tvaya iti. So, therefore, the Veda Vihita karma, tvaya sushtu anushtiyatam, should be performed well. And Shruti also kartavyatam darshigati. In the Ishavasya Upanishad says, Kurvan nevega karmaani jichi visheshatag samaha. Kurvan eva karmani kuru. Kurvan eva karmani. So therefore karma kuru. And that is what we say, the karma, when it is performed as a yoga, that becomes a means for moksha, becomes karma yoga. And in the Gita, we have seen karma yoga was beautifully presented in, finally summarized by Bhagavan Krishna in the shloka, Magi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha iti. The 5 things were mentioned. Sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya adhyatma chetasa, the mind which is endowed with the viveka buddhi, nirashihi nirmamaha bhutva vigatajvaraha. Jvara, that is jvara is fever. What is that fever here? Vigatajvaraha, nujvara, without any frustration, without any the emotional disturbances. Karma kuru. By doing, one gains that attitude. With the attitude, one has to do, and that attitude, in the beginning, it is an effort. Later, it becomes natural. So, it is an attitude to be cultivated by doing. In the beginning, the attitude is required. A certain amount of that attitude is required, and later, that attitude becomes very strong. So, one easily does that and grows to be an adhikari purusha to pursue, finally, Jnana Kanda of the Veda, Upanishad. One cannot stop with just with karma kanda. One has to go. One has to grow up. One has to mature to shift to jnana kanda, Upanishad. So therefore these steps, that is why sopana. Now here, so the uditam karma nushtiyata, and as we saw, the karma are of different types. We have nishkama karma, sakama karma. All kamya karmas are sakama karma. We can classify the karma in another way. One way is nitya nimitika prayaschitta kamya nishiddha karmani, as we have seen in Vedanta Sara. Elaborately, every word was defined. And this can be classified as nishkama karma, sakama karma, nishiddha karma. Three categories. Under nishkama karma is karma yoga. Sakama karma is kami karma. Nishiddha karma should not be performed. So therefore, Veda gives instruction to do karma. Which karma? Veda is interested in your welfare. So therefore it gives instruction, it gives upadesha, it urges you to pursue the karma which is conducive for your good. Therefore, follow karma by which you get chitta shuddhi. Therefore, nishkama karma. Do karma so that you gain chitta shuddhi and pursue jnanam and gain moksha. Therefore, nishkama karma. Therefore, nitya nimitikadi karma, if it is for chitta shuddhi, then it is nishkama eva. Sandhya vandanadi karma, agnihotradi karma, it becomes nishkama karma. For a mumukshu, it becomes nishkama karma, not for a karmi. One can do sakama karma also, but one cannot stop with sakama karma. One has to grow to be a mumukshu. One starts being a karmi, but one cannot be a karmi forever. One has to grow to be a mumukshu. And from mumukshu to the shift takes place at moksha is only by jnanam. Therefore, it becomes a jignasu. So that is the order. And nishiddha karma, of course, one must withdraw from doing nishiddha karma. So therefore, nishkama karma is nitya karma. Nishkama karma, nitya nimitikadi karma, nishkama karma. And prayaschitta karma, that karma which is done generally for any mistakes which we have done inadvertently, that is done prayaschitta karma. So therefore, the nishkama karma, that is must. There is no choice. Nishkama karma, that is nitya nimitikadi karma, or mandated compulsory action. There is no choice. Therefore, Veda says anushtiyatam iti command. Veda orders. Bhashyakara also, here, Shankaracharya also, he says one must do. Therefore, what is said, it has to be followed. Therefore, they are all prescriptive. All these are prescriptions. So, Veda as a doctor, as a Vaidyaha, prescribes the means for overcoming the Bhavaroga. That is why Bhagavan is called, is a Vaidya, is a Chikitsaka for the Bhavaroga. The Bhavaroga is that, therefore, Bhagavan becomes the form of a Veda, becomes a Chikitsaka, provides a means for removing the samsara malady. That is by performing the karma as it is said in the Veda. Therefore, that becomes a remedy. So nishkama karma, therefore nishkama karma doesn't have any agenda. Agenda means not limited agenda. It has moksha in its mind. Moksha is the goal. Veda, it mandates nishkama karma having moksha for you in the mind, in the mind of the Veda. So Veda is interested in your moksha. And therefore Bhagavan says, the Gita, do karma kuru. Yudyasva Vigatajvaraha. So with the end in view, the instruction is given. So therefore, there is no other benefit. There are no other benefits. Therefore, do it for Chitta Shuddhi. That is the end. So Chitta Shuddhi. That is why even in our Sankalpa we say Chitta Shuddhi, even though we don't say Chitta Shuddhi, we indirectly say Ishvara Prityartam. Amopata Samasta Durita Kshedvara Sri Parameshwara Prityartam. Parameshwara, when he will get pleased. Parameshwara Prityartam, to please the Lord. The Lord will be pleased when we know that we are not away from him. Then only the Lord will be pleased. Means as long as Raga Dveshas are there is a sense of alienation. You are away from the Lord. So Ishvara Prityartam. So knowing, one has to know the fact that Jagat Karanam Brahma Ishvaraha Agamasmi. So Ishvara Prityartam, ultimately Ishvara Prityartam. And what is a wall? What are the obstruction in understanding, in knowing this fact? Ragadvesha. Therefore Chitta Shuddhi, Nivrityartam. Chitta Shuddhi Praptyartam. Ragadvesha Nivrityartam. It is indirectly is implied. The Sankalpa. By Upata, Samasta, Upata, Durita, all the Durita, the Papa, whatever has been done before, for the exhaustion of all the papas, I perform this karma, Nishkama karma. Nitya Nimitika karma, I perform. The karmata says, Akarane Pratyavayaha, that we don't accept. For the logic we have seen in the Bhashya. Akarane Pratyavayaha, we don't accept. Then why do we perform karma? Chitta Shuddhyartam, Ishvara Prityartam, Samasta Upata Durita Kshayartam. All the papa karma, whatever we have gained, Asmin Janmaneva, Janmantareva. And that alone manifests in the form of the Prarabdha. Therefore, that Kshayartam, to neutralize and to gain Chitta Shuddhi. Durita Kshedvara Chitta Shuddhi. That is why Durita, Samasta Durita Kshedvara means Chitta Shuddhi. That is Chitta Shuddhi Prapti. Why Chitta Shuddhi? Chitta Shuddhi for moksha. And Chitta Shuddhi by Nishkama Karma. Kamya Nishiddha, as we have seen in Vedanta Sara. Kamya Nishiddha, Varjana Purasaram, Nitya Nimitika, the karma Anushtanam. That becomes the hetu, the means for Chitta Shuddhi. So therefore one has to perform the karma. So all these are required for one's growth, material growth as well as spiritual growth. By following the instructions, one can be a materially sane person. Therefore, maturity. So one gains maturity, and of course one gains moksha by following the instructions of the Veda, which is given by, of course, by the Lord, Bhagavan. Therefore, yoga, karma yoga. Karma yoga is nothing but expression of our gratitude to the Lord. Karma yoga. That's why Ishvara Prityartam iti. So therefore, Nitya Nimitika Karma Anushtana Dwara Ishvara Prityartam. That is the karma Anushtiyata. For a karma yogi, there is no sakama karma. Even so-called sakama karma, the material well-being, that also it becomes a sadhana, it becomes nishkama karma. Whatever he does in the spirit of yoga. So therefore, and of course he will not do nishidha karma, being a yogi. So karma anushtiyata. And the nishidha karmas, being a karma yogi, therefore he will not do, and the shastra doesn't take for granted, it also gives instruction. It says, Sram na pibet, Imsam na kuryat, Kalanjiv na bakshet. Iti, one cannot afford to do such karma when one is committed to moksha. So, therefore, kamya nishidha varjana purasaram. And prashita karma, of course, whenever it is required, that also to be done, so that all the duritas are taken care. In addition to the nitya nimittika karma anushtanam. So, therefore, Veda uditam karma wholeheartedly, su anushtiyatam, sushtu anushtiyatam. Therefore, karma yoga. It means karma yoga, yoga to be a yogi. That is the meaning. Karma anushtiyatam. Karma is this one way of presenting is nitya naimittika. Other way is swadharma anushtanam. Swadharme nidanam shreyaha. Paradharmo bhayavagaha. So swadharma anushtanam. Swadharma anushtanam. In keeping is one's varna ashrama, dharma anushtanam, swadharma anushtanam, anushtiyatam, swadharma paripalanam. That is what is yoga. Another way of presenting the yoga is one has to perform the yajna. The 5 types of yajna. Pancha Maha Yajna. The 5 types of yajna. Why 5 types of yajna? Because there are 5 types of the action by which we add papam, we gain papam. Why papam? Why we say papam? Because papam is there which creates the hindrances, obstacles to reaching our goal. Therefore, Panchamaha Yajna. Panchamaha Yajna, the 5-fold, the yajna, the karma which is meant for moksha, therefore it becomes a yajna. In the language of the Gita, it is yajna. The 3rd chapter, Bhagavan presents the yajna. At the end of the 3rd chapter, you will see different the yajnas are presented in the 4th chapter, not in the 3rd chapter, the 4th chapter. Deva meva pare yajnam yoginah paripasate. Starting from there onwards. So in the 4th chapter, different yajnas are presented. Therefore, yajna meaning it is understood that is the karma which is performed with the attitude of yoga. Yoga meaning for moksha. Therefore, it is yajna. Panchamaha yajna. It is the yajna, the karma, which is for neutralizing the durita, which a grihastha has to observe every day. Sarva grihasthaihi panchamaha yajna aharagaha kartavya. There is a yajna mimamsa sutra there. It is said aharag every day grihasthai. Sarvaihi grihasthaihi. Why? All the grihastha has to be performed. Now, karma is only in the grihastha ashrama. Therefore, as a grihastha, one has to perform this Panchamaha Yajna. This Pancha Papa, which are gained through 5-fold karma, that has to be neutralized by this Panchamaha Yajna. And also, not only just the Papa, there are Rinam. There are Rinam. The 5-fold debts are there. One has to repay it. One cannot escape from repaying the debt. One has to pay because we have enjoyed and we have to be grateful for it by repaying. Therefore, this 5 types of the karma, 5 types of karma, therefore 5 types of yajna, it is Panchamaha Yajna. The 5-fold papa, we have seen in the Bhashyam, the Gita, somewhere in the Bhashyam. Panchasona grihasthasya chulli peshani upaskaraha kandani chodakumbascha badyate yastu vagayan tasam kramena sarvasam nishkrityartam magarshibhi pancha krita mahayajnyaha pratyaham griha medinam. This is from Manusmriti. 5-fold papa which one gathers, a grihastha gathers. To neutralize that papa, he has to perform the 5-fold, the karma, the yajna. In what are all the ways, through what actions the papas are accumulated? Kandani, Kandani is cutting of trees, plants, vegetables. That is done for cooking and other purposes. The Kandani, Peshani, grinding. By grindings, unseen beings, species are created, killed. Peshani, chulli, burning. In cooking, fire is involved. Chulli, not only in cooking, even in the yaga, yajna, the samit and the sra which is offered into the Agni may contain some insects which is also burnt. It is a papa. Somewhere in the Bhashyam, Bhashikara says that involves papa. So that also to neutralize that, we have to do some some counter action. Chulli and Chodakumbha, the place where we store the water, there when we place the vessel, insects may get killed. Therefore, that is another action by which we commit papa. Not knowingly, but at least but some creatures are killed. Therefore, it is a papa karma only. Similarly, upaskaraha, cleaning the floor, cleaning the house, it involves again some killing. Therefore, it is a papam. Therefore, these are the panchasunaha, panchapapaha. Iti. To neutralize only 5 types of the karma, the yajna. That is performing that is swadharma, it is karma yoga. 5 types of yajna. What are those yajna? That one has to perform one's capacity. What are they? Pitri yajna. One has to be grateful to one's ancestors. Pitri yajna. Pitri yajna. Then bhuta yajna, deva yajna, rishi yajna, and nara yajna. 5 types of yajna. And all the rinas, we are indebted to our pitrus, our ancestors, to deva, to rishi, and to all our fellow beings, and bhutas also. So rinam is there, and also papam is there. So therefore, rinam, as well, since papam is there, therefore they are taken care by performing the yajna, this panchamaha yajna. Brahma yajna is, we are indebted to the rishis, to the tradition, to the Vedic tradition. Therefore, Brahma yajna is chanting the Veda, reciting the Veda, studying the Shastra. That is Brahma yajna. It's a ritual. In fact, there is a ritual Brahma yajna where all the 4 Vedas, only the first line of all the 4 Vedas are chanted. Therefore, that is Brahma yajna, Rishi yajna, Brahma yajna, and Rishi yajna. As part of the Brahma yajna, there is a tarpanam for rishis also, Rishi yajna. Studying Veda is Brahma yajna, and remembering the rishis is Rishi yajna. If one cannot do Brahma yajna, but at least one can remember the rishi. When we do the mantra, we take the name of the rishi, in the Anganyasa, Karanyasa. The rishi names are the rishi for whom the mantra was by whom the mantra was seen, and his name is taken it's taken before we do the japa. Therefore, that is remembering the rishi yajna, and deva yajna, worshipping the Lord, worshipping the Ishta Devata, the deities, family deities, ancestral deity, deva yajna, or the local devata, going to the temple, doing puja. All these are deva yajna. So therefore, deva yajna, then pitri yajna, the shraddha, karma. And in the Brahma yajna, that a person does as a brahmachari as well as a grasta does. Pitri yajna also, it is there. The mantras which are there in the tarpana, amavasya tarpana, that also is certain mantras are included, remembering the ancestors. So tarpanam is offered. Then bhuta yajna, providing food to all the bhutas, the beings, starting from crow to dogs, shwana. So all these are bhuta yajna. So it shows you become more and more sensitive by performing this karma, this yajna. And nara yajna, atiti puja. Manushya yajna, nara yajna is this atiti deho bhava. So therefore rendering hospitality to the Atiti, or offering food to the fellow beings, or helping them in their in their livelihood, or helping or donating money for the studies, etc. All these are Narayagnya. Therefore, this is the prescription of the Lord in the form of the Panchamaha Yajna in the Veda. So, when it is performed meticulously, one cannot miss the goal. So, following these Yajna, Panchamaha Yajna, in other words, yoga with the Shraddha, one has to reach the goal. Keeping the goal in the mind, the steps are given. That is why it's called Sopana. Therefore, first study, and after that, Karma Anushtanam. Therefore, Taduditam Karma Anushtiyatam. Karma Anushtanam Kriyatam iti. There is a tika to this Sadhana Panchakam. In fact, many tikas are there. Another tika which is a little difficult in the form of a karika. Another one is Kiranavali. But there is a famous tika. This tika is Ratna Prabha tika. If we do this, read this, and do all the lines, then Sadhana Panchakam cannot be completed. Just quickly read and see the meaning of the first line alone. Just the introduction to Sadhana Panchakam. I will read quickly and give the essence of what it is. Ikakalu Paramananda Swabhavaha Paramakарunikaha Bhagavan Umapatihi. You can understand all the words. Shri Shankaraha Moharnave Prokhyamananam Jananam Uttaranaya Samayaya Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shankara Rupena Avishkratan Uttama Murtihi. So Shankaracharya, the author of Sadhana Panchakam, Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shankara Rupena Avishkrita, it is Anuttama Murti, that is incomparable form of the Lord Shiva is this Shankara Bhagavat Padaha. So, in order to in Moharnave, Moha, the delusion, Arna is ocean. In the ocean of delusion, Prokyamananam Jananam Uttaranaya, for uplifting the people. He has taken the form of Shankaracharya. So, Mithya Jnanatmaka Pramada Brahmshita Viveka Buddhibhihi Nana Dvaitavada Pankena Tiraskritam Atyadbhuta Vedatarnim Yathartha Vyakhyanena Swarachitta Bhashya Amrita Sarena Paridhauta Pankam Vidaya Antardhara Samaye Tat Tatparya Bhuta Brahmatmaikya Vavam Yatha Jnanavatarena Vedaparangatena Anadi Guruna Bhagavata Vasishtena Uttama Adhikarinam Shri Ramam Prati Jagradi Avantara Sanya Vedokta Shubhechakyadi Bhumika Jayakramena Rupitam. So here the author says is actually quoting from. I'm not reading the shloka, which is Mangala shloka, which the tika starts. So here, Bhagavata Vasishtena Uttamadhikaranam Shri Ramam Prati. So the author is quoting, is going to quote, or is quoting here, quoting from Yoga Vasishta. In the Yoga Vasishta, that's called something called Sapta Bhumika. The 7 stages of the spiritual growth unfoldment. So that's a shloka. Therefore he says Bhagavata Vasishtena Shri Ramam Prati. So Vasishta, Bhagavata Vasishta, he teaches the Rama in the Yoga Vasishta, and that shloka is given Jnana Bhumigi Shubhechadya Dvitiya Syad Vicharana Tanumanasika Satta Patti Asakti Namika Padartha Bhavini Shashti Saptami Turyagha smrta asamante sita muktihi yasyambo yona shochati. It is sapta. It's called sapta bhumika. So sevenfold stages of spiritual development. So jnanam shubhe. It is shubha ichcha. This is shubha ichcha. First one is it has to start with ichcha, moksha ichcha, shubha ichcha. One has the desire for. Every word is defined in the Yoga Vasishta. So that in the form of a shloka. So otherwise, if you discuss all those, it will take more time. So we will not do that. Just give the simple meaning. So it is ichcha. First it starts with the ichcha, the desire for moksha. Therefore, it implies purushartha nishchaya and vicharana, analysis. One has to do the vichara. And tanumanasa, making the mind resolve, making the mind focused, committed. And sattvapattihi. Sattvapattihi is knowing the real. Sattva apattihi. Then asamshakti, being free, being free from the desire. Then padartha abhavaha, padartha bhavini, padartha bhavini, not padartha bhavini, padartha bhavini, padartha abhavini, padartha abhavini. Padartha abhavini meaning it is the absorbed in oneself, the samadhi which follows asam shakti. Then finally turyaha is it is samadhi. Turyaha is samadhi. The seventh stage. Turyaha is samadhi. Padartha abhavana. Padartha abhavana is there is no objects. Abhavana, absence of all the padartha. It means he doesn't see anything other than Brahma. That is padartha abhavini. Finally, one is samadhi. He gets into, is completely absorbed in himself because of padartha. Padartha abhavani, not abhavini, abhavani. And turyaha is turyavastha, that is transcending. It is samadhi. So this is sevenfold steps in the form of sapta bhumika, the 7 stages. It is mentioned in the Yoga Vasishta, and which begins with the ichcha for jnanam, that is jnana ichcha, moksha ichcha. So that the author quotes here. Tadvat sangrahena bubodha ishuhu. Similarly, tadvat sangrahena bubodha ishuhu. Bubodha ishuhu sananta. Bodhum. Bubodha ishuhu. Bodhitum ichuhu. In order, desire to teach, both convey, to teach. Bodha ishuhu. Adhikaritvam arabhya videha kaivalya paryantam shravanadi praetra sagitam sakala vedanta saram shloka panchena upadishtavan. Vedanta sara is presented in the form of this pancha shloka panchakena. Videha kaivalya, that is starting from adhikari, being adhikari, and up to gaining the end, that is moksha. Kaivalya paryantam, moksha paryantam, videha moksha, that is videha mukti paryantam. Therefore, for that sadhanam, moksha sadhanam is shravanadi praetra sagitam, shravana mananam vidyasanam. It is in the form of the shloka, pancha shloka, that is the Vedanta Sara, the author, the Vashyakaraha, Shankaracharya presents. Now, being a Prakarana Grantha, must not it have this Anubandha Chatushtayam, the fourfold introductions, connections. Asyapi Vedanta Prakaranatva tadiyegi eva Vishya Sambandha Prayojanegi Shotrunam Pravritti Ankataya Pratipaditegi Vishaya Adima Vishayadi Matta Upapatte Pratak Upanyastaha. Since it is a Prakarana Karna, Vedanta Prakaranatvat, therefore, whatever the Anubandha Chatushtaya is for the Veda, that is same thing is applicable for this Shloka Panchakam also. So, Vishaya Sambandha Prayojana Vishya Adhikari. So, therefore, it has the Anubandha Chatushtayam. Why should we study Sadhana Panchakam? There's all this. Therefore, na pratak upanyastaha. Therefore, it is need not be discussed separately. See Sadhana, the Anubandha Chatushtayam. So everything taken for granted. Yattu Guru Devata Namaskaranatmakam Mangalacharanam Sukhabodha Prachaya Gavanabhyam Sadachara Darshanaya Cha Prakarneshu Sampradaya Vidbhihi आद्य श्लोकेन कृतितं तदपि कृपानिधिना भगवता श्रीमत् शंकरेण अस्मिन् प्रकरण आरम्भे सर्वात्मक ब्रह्मानुसन्धानेन मनसा कृतम् एव ज्ञातव्यम्. In the tradition, any text begins with a Mangalacharanam. So here, this Sarvatmaka Brahma Anusandhanena Manasa Kritam iti Jnatavyam. Here it is not explicitly done. So Manasa Bhagavata Shankaracharyena Kritam iti Jnatavyam. And Vedaha itself is auspicious. The word Vedaha itself. Veda is Ishvara. Ishvara Mukhat. It is Praptaha. Therefore, Veda itself is auspicious. The word itself. But the Tikakara says, Sarvatmaka Brahma Anusandhanam, that meditation on Brahma, that is done by Manasa. So Manasa, Pratana is involved. Therefore, there is no separate Pratana shloka here. Na tad abhava shanka avasaraha tasya mangala rupatvad. Therefore, one need not entertain doubt with regard to that mangala rupatvad. Why? Shankaracharya itself is mangala rupa. Shankaraha sakshatiti purana vachanaditi. So, therefore, it is mangala rupatvad. Shanka avasaraha na. Then the shloka, Vedo Nitya Madhyatam, just the words, whatever we have see the first line, the commentary to that alone we will see. Vedaha ityukte kandatrayatmakaha nityam mukha matrena akila tadartha jnana paryantam sarvada kala vilambam vina, without any time gap. Brahmacharya Gurukula Nivasadi Adhyena Vidhivat Adhiyatam. So Vedaha Adhiyatam. Vedaha is this Kandatrayatmaka. Kandatraya is Samhita, Brahmana and Aranya. Kandatrayatmakaha Nityam Mukamatrena, one has to recite Akira Tadartha Jnana Paryantam, up to the not only reciting, but knowing the meaning also, without any time gap. Brahmacharya Gurukula Nivasa Adhyayana Vidhivat. Staying in the Gurukula, following the Brahmacharya lifestyle, one has to learn Adhiyatam. Then Taduditam, Tena Vigitam Karma, Veda Viditam Karma, Su, Samyak, Shaddhadi. Su stands for Shaddhadi Purasaram. Su means Sushtu, well means Shaddhadi Purasaram. Should be preceded by Shaddha. It's Shaddha, commitment, therefore Anushtiyatam. Karma Shabdena, Nitya, Naimittika, Prayaschitta, Upasanani Sangrihitani. These are the karmas included by the word karma. Yadipi Anyatra Nityadi Karma, Chitta Shuddhi Hetutva, Hetutvat, Chittaikagriya Karanabhuta, Upasanat Pratak Pradipaditam. So Nityadi Karma for Chitta, it is the Hetu for Chitta Shuddhi. Then Chitta Ekagrata, Upasana is prescribed separately. Igatu karma upasana samuchaya. So here karma means it includes both karma as well as upasana. Vidyam cha yastat vedho bhayagum saha avidya mrityum tirutva avidya mritamashnuте. This is a vacuum from Ishavasya Upanishad. So there vidya is karma and avidya is upasana. So vidya cha vidyam cha yastat, both referring to the Kandatrayatmakaha Vedaha. Avidya Mrityam Tirtha Vidya Mritamashtate. Here Vidya, second Vidya is the Upanishad we will see. Jnanena Amritam Ashnute iti. Then the next line, Tena Ishasya. That is the Tena Ishasya Vidyatam Apachitik Kamya Matis Chidyatam. That we will see in the next class. We won't be able to read every line, just the simple meaning of the words, whatever the relevant for us, that alone we will read. So this is a Tika, I will send you. You can Go through that if you have free time. Another tika which is I also study for the class purpose, but it is not required. Ratna Prabha, this tika itself is enough. So that therefore you can see based on tika only this Sadhana Panchakam is taken. This is the primary tika which is generally used by all the teachers. So this is what I also use it. Okay, so we will stop here. Only one line we are done. It's okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.